What's going on, everyone? I am the Kilted Cajun, and today we're going to talk about, I don't know if to call it a duh or shocker or something that most YouTube content creators will look at and go, yeah, we already kind of knew this. This little article from IGN of all people. My goodness, Rotten Tomatoes, the epitome of, I don't know. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yes, integrity. That thing that Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have. The epitome of integrity. Rotten Tomatoes under fire after PR firms scheme to pay critics for positive reviews uncovered. Oh, I wonder, is it a PR's firm or is it Rotten Tomatoes? Now, I've definitely voiced my opinion on the questionable practices of Rotten Tomatoes. If you checked out our live stream on Wednesdays, yeah, I ran my mouth a little bit on that little rant, but this is a little bit more interesting. People manipulating reviewers, critics, or whatever to go in and, I guess, kind of fluff the numbers. If they're doing it for one, what else are they doing it for? But let's see what this article has to say from Alex Stedman of IGN. While film and television review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes has come under scrutiny by filmmakers like Martin Scorsese before, and boy, they'll continue to come under scrutiny. A new report doubles down on why consumers may want to think twice before taking a recommendation from the website. Maybe because they've been caught multiple times with review scores that just kind of stagnate at a particular score, where you don't exactly know if you're getting the, I guess, all review scores or just the ones that they like. Rotten Tomatoes is very questionable. I use it more as a joke. In an in-depth report published earlier today, Vulture, of all websites, uncovered a scheme from a PR firm called Bunker 15 to goose reviews for 2018 Daisy Ridley's drama Ophelia. 2018, that's the only one you found, or is that the only one you decided to talk about? After initial reviews came in, resulting in a disappointing 46% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which you really honestly don't even know what that's supposed to mean because of the way Rotten Tomatoes handles their scores. They don't take a percentage. They take the number of rotten scores as a total, and they take the number of fresh scores as a total. Not the score itself, the number of fresh and the number of rotten. And that's how they average it out, which is nonsense. Rotten Tomatoes is probably the worst. Again, I use it as a joke. And I use it to see how big a divide there is between the critics and the average viewer, the actual paying customer. But let's see. As it turns out, the scheme worked. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped a little bit. After initial reviews came in, it was terrible, 46%. Vulture reports that Bunker 15 started paying lower-level critics on the website, wow, to post positive reviews for $50 a pop. Now, you're pretty cheap. Essentially trying to manipulate the system. No, that's not trying to. That is manipulating the system. Not too much different than what the website does themselves, but hey, that's just allegedly. Firm also lobbied one critic to change their negative review to positive. That definitely, well, if nothing else, it definitely doesn't put the website on a good light. Did that come out right? Moving on. As it turns out, the scheme worked, and the money followed. Ophelia jumped to a 62% rating, scoring that coveted fresh label. And the next month, IFC Films announced it acquired the film for distribution. My goodness. Let's see what they got to say on Twitter. Well, let's see. As it turns out, the scheme worked. Bunker 15, for its part, denied the allegations. Of course they do. That's what you do as a business. With founder Daniel Harlow telling Vulture, quote, "We have thousands of writers in our distribution list. A small handful have set up a specific system where filmmakers can sponsor or pay to have them review a film." Okay. What? So first you deny the allegations, and then you come out and say that you have a group that does it. A small handful have set up a specific system where filmmakers can sponsor or pay to have their film reviewed. Now, that's, on one hand, sure, maybe that's not intentionally paying money for a positive review. However, the way the Access Media works, if you do not know this, if if you get a bonus, or let's say a plane trip, or early access to a theatrical release, free tickets to a theatrical release, plus a nice little goodie bag, a little bit of swag here and there, and you get that, it is seen that you will be more inclined to give a positive review. It's essentially a sponsorship. So if you get a sponsorship, you're not exactly getting paid for a positive review. You're not technically getting paid, but you're given stuff. And if you want to keep getting stuff, then you may not want to dump all over the production that you're going to see. You're more influenced, I guess might be the right word, to give a positive review. That way, the studio, the director, whoever's involved, is more inclined to invite you out again because you gave them positive publicity, positive press, positive review, all that nifty stuff. So after a while, how much negative criticism are you going to be putting out there if you keep getting little goodie bags, if you keep getting early access and your content channel gets all the views first and foremost? So that's the question. Sure, they're not paying for positive reviews per se, but, you know, all that nifty stuff. People like getting things for free. They like getting things for putting out reviews. They like being able to watch the movie before everybody else. A little dopamine hit. It's a nice little dopamine hit. Little pat on the back. You get to say, haha, check this out before everybody else. It's an addiction. And after a while, it can call into question your credibility as far as I'm concerned. So Mike Ryan, never mind. A PR firm has been manipulating the Rotten Tomatoes scores of movies for at least 5 years. Now, again, this article only talks about this one little review of, where's the movie? Ophelia with Daisy Ridley from 2018. But it's been happening. If it's happened once, you can bet your bottom dollar it's happened multiple times. So honestly, how credible can a website like Rotten Tomatoes be if it's allowed to happen even one time? Richard Lawson says, why am I wasting time trying, and often failing, to say something cogent or interesting about movies I see when I should just be writing yes or no and hitting publish? Oh, okay. People have something to say about this. Matthew Zeitlin, quoting the article, what's more grim, that film marketers are paying off critics to boost Rotten Tomato scores, or they have to pay so little? Yeah, $50, that's not a lot. So if you have money and you put out a product, just go pay a bunch of people, pay a bunch of shills, give them $50 a pop to get the score of your product through the roof, which will honestly get more eyes on it. It'll be seen in a positive light, and you'll easily make more in marketing, in revenue. I think that's the right word. Oh, let's see, one more. Rotten Tomatoes has always been an embarrassment, oh yes that is, to the profession. The certified critic designation, the equivalent of a participation trophy. The grading format, which is fucking terrible, talked about it earlier in the video. A total sham. It weaponizes the illusion of diverse voices against basic standards of good criticism. Burn it. The economy of Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see, let's see what the rest is. Although Rotten Tomatoes told Vulture that it takes, quote, sorry. Okay, gonna be serious. Yeah, the integrity of our scores seriously. We take the integrity of our scores seriously and does not tolerate any attempt to manipulate them. Yes, because you want to be the ones manipulating the scores. You cannot allow anyone else to come in and try to game the system when you're doing perfectly fine on your own website all by yourself. It's an alarming example of how easily critics and aggregators like Rotten Tomatoes can be manipulated, especially when there's financial incentive to do so. And yes, then that financial incentive comes in the way of goodie bags for the access media, essentially. As Vulture Report notes, Rotten Tomatoes has become incredibly influential. I don't understand why. It's been shown over and over how, I guess, disingenuous their scoring system is. Disingenuous the reviews are, the critics are. Even in the case of the the audience reviews and the review bombing that can take place, whether it's positive or negative. I call out both of them. If you haven't seen the movie, or if you want to positively review bomb it because you like the actor or actresses, or you want to negatively review bomb it because you can't stand the practices of the studio, none of those, I mean, well, it's become the only way that the common folk can voice their displeasure, because half the time when it comes to the trailers, the comment section is shut down or their comments are deleted by whoever posted the video. So maybe the review bombing is a way for people to voice their displeasure or pleasure. Voice their opinion. Always have an avenue for people to voice their opinion. You can just be like me. Hit record and run your mouth. Rotten Tomatoes is something the studios can game, so they do. I like this one. To be clear, Rotten Tomatoes and other critic aggregators like Metacritic aren't to blame for the reviews themselves. Absolutely, yes, they are, because they allow it to happen. They know it's happening, and they aren't taking enough measures to stop it. But a fresh or rotten label can be an important one for a film, meaning it's easy to see why this sort of thing could happen. What this new report sheds light on is how unfortunately easy the system is to be manipulated. And if that's the situation, then it's a system that should be shut down. If it's easy to manipulate, don't use it. Get away from it. Use Rotten Tomatoes as a laugh, as a goof. I've recommended this numerous times when it comes to reviewing video games, TV shows, movies, even music. Find multiple someones out there that you relate to in some sort of way. Say you find one or two reviewers, even me, I don't mind. I try to get more reviews out when I can, but I'm not trying to, pat myself. Anyway, find a few that you like. Don't find just the ones that you agree with 100%. That's boring. And the confirmation bias is there, hard and heavy. You don't want all of that. Find someone that you agree with and disagree with on different movies and different, well, actually, no. When it comes to entertainment, you might actually want to find someone you agree with more often than not. Because if you relate to that person with the same likes and dislikes when it comes to entertainment and movie genres, especially when it comes to movie genres, find the ones you like, find the ones you agree with. That way, when they come out with something, when they talk about it, you have a better idea of what you're getting into. Maybe go find some movies that you truly enjoy and find other people that like those movies for the same reasons, and follow those channels. Follow multiple channels, because not everybody is going to have the same review moving forward. I highly recommend it. But finishing off the article, there's a quote from filmmaker Paul Schrader, a little more bluntly. Quote, "The studios didn't invent Rotten Tomatoes, and most of them don't like it. Cool. But the system is broken." Yes, it is. Audiences are dumber. That's probably not the best thing you want to say. Normal people don't go through reviews like they used to. Rotten Tomatoes is something the studios can game, so they do. And that is going to be the downfall over and over. I'm genuinely surprised if anyone goes to Rotten Tomatoes for any sort of legitimate review of a movie. Rotten Tomatoes is a joke. They've been caught over and over again, allegedly, nefariously fluffing the numbers, stopping reviews, just manipulating their own system. And now other firms can go in and manipulate Rotten Tomatoes' own system in and of itself for just $50 a pop. Why wouldn't they do that? But hey, Rotten Tomatoes is a joke. It's been a joke for a long time, and it always will be a joke. But hey, what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. And why don't you do me a big old fat favor and hit that subscribe button? I really do appreciate it. Have a good one.